Hello, I'm Matt Gertie, and my partner today is Steve Williams, and welcome to the Milton Harvest Festival Parade. I'll tell you what, how many years running is this where we have another day of absolutely gorgeous weather?
It is beautiful today, perfect temperature, crowds lining the street. I got here early, chairs set up. People are really excited for this again this year, and a great day.
So what are you most looking forward to seeing today, Steve?
Well, it's like we talk about every year. We're a couple old car guys, and we're going to get to see some old cars. Then there's also the older apparatus as far as farm equipment and some fire trucks. So that, and just to see some old friends.
The other thing I always look forward to seeing here at the Harvest Festival Parade is there's not just one, but there are several fantastic bands, all different kinds and genres of music that will come through the main concourse here for the parade today. So not only do we have a lot of really cool things to see, like the old classic cars and farm equipment, we've got a lot of great things to listen to and to hear here at the Harvest Festival Pharrell. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I just hope you brought your candy bag, because they always throw a lot of that. Lots of kids around us here today. They're all ready to go. They know that it gets thrown. We don't get to pick it up. They're going to come over and pick it up for us. So.
Absolutely. One of the best candy and food throwing parades I've ever been to, especially in this area. We'll be back with the start of the parade right after this.
Hi, I'm Kyle Mertz, fifth generation of the Mertz family owning and operating Sunbury Motors. Let's see what Sunbury Motors has to offer.
Catch the savings on a 24 Escape ST line along with 1.9% financing for 60 months. Sweep the competition in a Bronco Sport Big Bend and save up to $4,000. It's the big haul for the fall. Get an F-150 with discounts over $9,000.
Here at Sunbury Motors, I know we're not perfect, but after 109 years, we must be doing something right. So come visit us and be treated to a buying experience like no other.
Raising money for the Thyra M. Humphrey Center for Breast Health at EVAN, we've been able to provide mammograms for dozens of women who couldn't afford them.
Early detection saves lives, and that's why Carpet Man in Milton will continue to help those in need.
This October, a portion of every flooring sale here at our family store will be donated to the Center for Breast Health.
So please consider your next flooring sale here at Carpet Man in Milton.
Flooring for life.
Is a locally owned and operated grocery store with two great locations located along Route 11 Northumberland and Route 15 Montgomery. Surplus Outlet carries a great selection of regional and national brand groceries at below wholesale prices. When you're shopping at Surplus Outlet, you'll find items such as deli meats and cheeses, cleaning products, paper products, pet items, fresh produce, freezer foods, and more. If you're looking to get the most for your money on groceries, then stop in today to Surplus Outlet and start taking advantage of the money-saving deals. We're open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and closed on Sundays.
Here, we connect things that matter most. Our businesses, schools, healthcare, events, and of course, the people in our communities who make it strong. Connect to the most advanced fiber network, Pentella Data.
Is a locally owned and operated grocery store with two great locations located along Route 11 Northumberland and Route 15 Montgomery. Surplus Outlet carries a great selection of regional and national brand groceries at below wholesale prices. If you're looking to get the most for your money on groceries, then stop in today to Surplus Outlet and start taking advantage of the money-saving deals going on. Surplus Outlet offers flexible schedules for full and part-time employees, and if you'd like to become a part of the Surplus Outlet team, stop in today to complete an application. Surplus Outlet's open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and closed on Sundays.
connect things that matter most. Our businesses, schools, healthcare, events, and of course the people in our communities who make it strong. Connect to the most advanced fiber network, Pentella Data.
Comfort specialists, quality and value, our claim to fame. On time and affordable, that's our game. Providing heating and cooling for you every day. Our experience shows in so many ways. Call Comfort Specialists. Give us a ring, we'll be at your door. When your comfortable life is good, Comfort Specialists.
Is your home in need of an internet speed upgrade? More people than ever are working from home, making a fast, reliable connection essential. And having enough bandwidth makes it easier to manage your energy consumption, keep your home safe, and enjoy entertainment without lags or buffering. So upgrade your internet speed to 1 gig or 2 gig, or add Plume Whole Home Wi-Fi and experience flawless Wi-Fi on all your devices. Call today or visit secv.com/internet.
The INSP network is your home for Western heroes.
Now you walk in real slow like.
Monday through Thursday starting at 7. It's 4 hours of the toughest marshal in Dodge.
I'm asking you to temper justice with mercy.
During the primetime Gunsmoke Summer Extravaganza.
Everything's gonna be all right.
You're right about that.
Watch your favorite heroes Monday through Thursday starting at 7 on INSP.
We write our own stories.
You know, this is something that our family's done for generations.
In our own words.
It's not the normal world. They can't teach you this in Harvard Business School.
On our own terms.
You guys want to go big? Let's go big.
Find your adventure on Outdoor Channel.
Oh my God. Look at him. That's not my dad.
I never thought I would lose my father at the hands of my brother. He took away everything.
Evil lives here. All news Sundays at 9 on ID.
First of our collection of old and unique automobiles, the old school Jeep, followed by two very modern era police cruisers here. And you hardly ever see police cars anymore. Have you noticed that? It's almost all SUVs and trucks.
Well, you hardly ever see cars at all. Everything is SUVs and trucks. But yeah, it seems like pretty much any police vehicle is a I called them a Ford Exploder since I drive one, but that seems to be the way that they've gone. Certainly are heavy duty.
Yeah, and a lot of, I've noticed like near me, Mahoning Township, Riverside, Danville, they all have at least one truck in their fleet, which is probably a pretty useful thing for a police department to have as well. So that was Milton Police Department, followed by the Pennsylvania State Troopers.
We have the Grand Marshal, Sue Rarick, and her family in that pretty yellow convertible, that Mustang.
Pretty cool wrapped PA Army National Guard truck here. That's another thing that's becoming really popular is the vehicle wraps. See, a lot of people, they won't spend the extra money to get, I know Tesla's is a big one. People won't buy a Tesla in any color but white or black, whatever's cheapest, and then they'll buy a wrap rather than paying for the paint.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the, you used to get the flip-flop paint, now the wraps are flip-flop, but you can take them off and you have the original paint job there. I myself like the hand paint jobs.
And here you can see some of the people in attendance today. Most of my family's posted up right across the street from us here, across from Shaw Funeral Home, who we'd like to say a big thank you to. They allow us to use their parking lot year after year. It's where we set up our production truck and all of our camera equipment, etc. It's what allows us to give you this awesome view of the parade. And speaking of this parade, you can catch it again tonight at 8 p.m. and tomorrow at 9 a.m. and then one last time tomorrow at 8 p.m. and then shortly after that it will be available on demand.
Looks like we got some fire trucks coming up here. They give us a script, and I don't think we've ever been able to follow completely the script of who's coming up. They didn't say anything about what fire trucks, but we do see it's the Milton Fire Department.
I think this one right here looks like a tanker. There might be some water on board in that truck. Almost positive. That's going to be engine 15, followed by 15-2 here. And then after that, we're going to see the ladder truck for 15.
If you're old enough to remember, fire trucks used to have the platform on the back and a bar to hang on, and then you'd see the truck going down the street and the fireman hanging on to the back. Not the safest way to get there.
Yeah, got to be a lot of fun to ride that way, but you definitely don't see that one too much anymore. I always like it when they put little details on the truck. Like this one says, this actually has an 102-foot ladder. That's pretty high. That's bigger than most buildings in our area.
Yeah. There are some high rises here. I have no idea how high they are, but yeah, that's why they've got to have them.
And here we have an older member of the Milton Fire Department's firefighting squad, tanker 15-1, 2,700 gallons.
You got to imagine the amount of horsepower it takes to move that, and you can tell that by the size of the radiator in the front. Certainly not built for aerodynamics. That thing is huge.
Yeah, well, a gallon of water weighs 8.3 pounds. 2,700 times that. That's a lot of weight. Yeah, and it has to shift around, too, you figure, as they're driving.
Well, they do put baffles in them, so they don't do that. But, yeah, about 18,000 pounds going down the road there.
Here's an Evangelical Regional Mobile Medical Services ambulance, followed by the smallest vehicle so far of the Milton Fire Department. Looks like it's a diesel Kubota side-by-side. Fully enclosed, though. I wonder if that thing has air conditioning.
I'm going to say, is the window? Yeah, there's no window, so I don't know if it does or not. Yeah, those things are really appointed well anymore.
All right, so that looks like that's probably going to be a decent-sized break right here. So we'll be back after this picks up a little bit more.
Oh my
God. Look at him. That's not my dad.
I never thought I would lose my father at the hands of my brother. He took away everything.
Evil lives here. All new Sundays at 9 on ID.
There's reports from all over the world that there are generations of Bigfoot.
We're looking for an alpha male, a female, and their young.
I think I see it. When you see Bigfoot, walk away.
Oh my God.
Because he sees you too.
I don't like this anymore.
Ryan and Mika are taking on their biggest challenge yet. 2 hotels,
What if I took on one of the hotels and you did the other one?
2 teams.
We are gonna beat Brian. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Which team is gonna win it all?
100 days.
And the best hotel win?
100-day Hotel Challenge Special Series continues Tuesday night at 8 on HGTV.
And welcome back. Here is the American Originals Fife and Drum Corps. Let's take a listen.
The American Originals Fife and Drum Corps out of Washington, D.C. Georgia Graves is the drum major. And next up we've got some vintage firefighting equipment. This is a 1962 Ford Pittman snorkel fire truck out of Lewisburg.
There's a little banner on the side, over 40 years of service with the William Cameron Engine Company in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, owned by Vaughn Murray and Wayne Bieber. It's really nice when you see, I know we say this every year if you've heard us before, but it's really nice when you have just interested members of the community that say, hey, I'm going to rescue this and maintain it, make sure people can see what it was and all the years of service that it offered. It's really cool.
Yeah, every now and then you'll drive down the road, you'll see one sitting along the road, but they don't stay there long. They seem to be get grabbed up pretty quickly and restored. So yeah, that's neat. It's got to take an awful lot of money, so some great dedication from people that do that.
Next up, we have Lily Batman, 2024 Harvest Princess Alumni Association.
Lily riding in that Model A in the rumble seat. Did you ever ride in a rumble seat?
I've never ridden in a rumble seat. It's on the bucket list.
It's pretty cool. And there goes Aubrey Hostetter in that 57 Chevy convertible. That's a beauty.
I do miss fins on the back of cars. You really don't see that in the modern era anymore. Here we have Emily Beaver with the Milton Booster Club, riding in a really nice Chevy SS convertible there.
Up next is Amelia Gaynor, the Lions Club top 5 finalist, and that looks to be about a 79 Corvette with some Krager SS mags on it.
You know, that's about the only chrome wheels I really like. I like chrome wheels on a Corvette, especially that era. I prefer the Corvettes that have the flip top lights.
Next up is Zane Oosterhout, top 5 finalist, GFWC Women's Club of Milton in the Mustang convertible. And then we got a Porsche here, Lauren Ungst, representing the Kiwanis Club.
I like that color a lot. I wonder if that's a wrap or if that's a factory paint job there. That's a really neat shade of blue. That's a Carrera 4S.
Well, it's a flat blue, so I don't think it's a factory paint job, but yeah, you're right. It could be a wrap.
Bryn Biter here in one of the older Mazdas, still badged as a Miata. They still make these now. In this day and age, they're badged as MX-5s, and they tried to make them a little bit more curvy.
Here comes Autumn Bowen, Milton Historical Society. Plymouth Prowler, driven by my old buddy Jim Kallenberger. Jim was the quarterback here for the football team back in 1965.
I gotta say, Prowlers might be my favorite looking car of all time. Addison Cohick, Montanan Legion, and a pretty old Ford Mustang there. What year are you thinking?
1970. I can tell you exactly what year that is. Those are my favorite ones, 69s and 70s. Behind her is Carly Dyer from the Milton Public Library. That looks like a Mitsubishi.
Yep, Mitsubishi Eclipse Spider. Followed after that is Juliana Klusman in one of the new revamps of the old Ford Broncos. How do you feel about those?
That is a big vehicle.
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 different versions of it. There's the Sport, the 2-door, the 4-door, big one like that. Really huge. Here's Zoe Welch, Mambo. In a new Beetle. However, most of the new Beetles are now already classic or antique cars.
I was just going to say punch buggy can't punch back, but I don't know if we can classify the new ones as punch buggies. Here comes Harvest Festival Princess from 2023, Elena Chappell, in a Mercedes convertible.
Followed by the 2024 Junior Miss Princess in a modern era Mustang convertible.
Looks like Kylie Thorpe, Junior Miss runner-up, in a nice-looking red, 65 Mustang. That's got your favorite Krager SS chrome mags on it.
Yeah, I'm not a big chrome wheels guy, but something about those. They're just so classic looking. Junior Miss Contestant 2024 Jera in one of the very new Jeep Wranglers. Jeep coming out this year in the last couple years with the 4xe, the plug-in hybrid electric. Let me tell you, it's kind of weird to see a big 4-door Wrangler like that drive by you dead silent.
Well, they do usually put a little hum on it so they don't run you over or back over you. This one's not going to be very quiet. Red Corvette, excuse me. T-tops, early 70s, 2024 Junior Miss Contestant Zaylee. Throwing some candy to the kids over there.
Little flame embellishments and the luggage rack on the back. That's a really classic looking Corvette right there. And here's Ava. Keeping it simple with the signage. That's going to be Ava Watts, I believe. Followed by
Junior Miss Princess Adeline Erdley in the Murray Motors of Milton. I think that's a Bronco.
So driven there by Travis Erdley, who graduated high school with me. And we graduated in 2004, and in 2004, Travis had about, I'm going to say an 84 Bronco that he fixed all up, very similar to the one he's driving right now.
Bronco guy. There's a nice white convertible Corvette 2024 Little Miss Princess.
That's Amelia Yost, followed up by the 2024 Little Miss runner-up in another modern era Mustang, Harper Tucker.
Yeah, I haven't figured out the years on the newer Mustangs, but here's the Little Miss contestant, Jordan Dietrich. Boy, these girls, they've got the parade waves and the parade smiles down, don't they?
Yeah, you could tell they practiced a little bit here. Next, we have Little Miss contestant, Gracelyn Parker. And that's in a Hyundai Elantra, but that's the N-Line. It's basically the sport-tuned factory edition of that car, which is interesting because they're super, super fuel-efficient cars normally. I'm curious what kind of miles per gallon the sport-tuned version gets. And our last princess.
That's the 2023 Milton Harvest Festival Princess Pageant, Aaliyah Savage.
And now we'll take a listen to the Milton Area High School Band. And we've been rickrolled by the 2024 Milton High School brand, playing Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up, followed by the color guard. So next we're going to have kind of all of the different portions and variations of Milton football here. We're going to have Milton High School football. We're going to have the younger guys, the cheerleaders, the younger cheerleaders all together. Oh, look at this, flexing the guns for the cameras.
Yeah, congratulations to the Milton Black Panthers high school football team, 22-21 winners over South Williamsport last evening.
Milton getting off to a very good start this season under first-year head coach.
I think they're yelling for the Milton Panthers.
You know, that would have been my guess as well. No sense us trying to talk over those girls. They were absolutely blasting us with those cheers.
Well, I have 2 daughters and 2 granddaughters, and yes, I've been trained. And all ages, I'd say in the back here we've got first to second graders all the way up to the high school girls.
Yeah, pretty much all ages and divisions of the football and cheer programs, as well as the band and color guard, very well represented here for the Harvest Festival today.
Get them interested early and keep them interested. Great programs here in town. Whether you want to play a sport, whether you want to be a cheerleader, whether you want to be in a band. So many things to do. All right, we finally get pelted with some Tootsie Rolls. Looks like the Milton flag football players there in the back of the H&W Repairs rollback. That's what I'll be doing tomorrow afternoon, but down in Selinsgrove, watching the flag football players. Whatever you say. Yeah, that's it.
So we had some guys asking us what kind of candy we want. A little difficult to answer those questions on air. So then we have still the youth football coming through here, but this is going to be a little bit older. This is not the flag football. This is full tackle football, which usually starts in this area around 3rd grade. This is where they switch over from flag to tackle.
Yeah, I would. I love it. Telling a bunch of 5th grade boys to be careful.
Yeah, that's That's a tough fence to walk there. Give a whole bunch of middle school kids and elementary school kids candy to throw at the parade, and then try and get them to throw it gently. Good luck.
That was after they ate most of it.
Here's the Milton Savings Bank, harvesting kindness in our community. I like that little mini float on the back of the truck here. That's pretty cool.
I like their sign in the back that says "Help the Elderly." That would be me.
Here we have a Jeep Gladiator truck with the cap on it, pulling a replica Liberty Bell. I'm going to guess this is the Milton Historical Society.
Well, how do you know it's a replica?
I'm just playing a hunch on that one. I'm just playing a hunch.
Followed by a gentleman dressed in World War II military garb. Of course, if you were with us back in late June at the Lewisburg parade, their 4th of July parade, and there were a number of reenactors with World War II garb on. Very interesting.
I'll take a quick second to thank our sponsors here. Sunbury Motors, over 100 years of satisfying more customers. Service Electric Cablevision, driving innovation in internet, television, and home phone for 75 years. Surplus Outlet along Route 11, north of Northumberland. They put the savings back in your pocket. Comfort Specialists, when you're comfortable, life is good. And last but not least, Carpet Man of Milton, one of the largest and most experienced flooring companies in central Pennsylvania. So, I have this weird thing with Tootsie Rolls where I like Tootsie Rolls, but it's the one thing out there where I'm not going to pick the chocolate one first. I like the Fruities a little bit more than I like the traditional Tootsies.
We have a lot of choices over here. I see an orange one. Oh, there's some Smarties, some lollipops. So you got your choice.
Here we have Rescue 17, Turbot Township. It's kind of neat how many different colors of fire trucks we have from our various fire companies in the area. We've got yellow and green and orange and red.
That marks the beginning of Division 2 of this parade. Turbot Township Fire Company. I see some purple and orange, maybe some guys from over your direction.
Quite possibly. Usually in this area, if you see purple and orange, that either means Danville or it means Dunkin' Donuts. What do we got here? Shady
Creek Farm.
Shady Creek Farm.
Next up is the Kingdom Kids puppet show.
Kind of a unique thing to our area. It's Kingdom Kids. It's puppet ministry. So they have these pretty cool puppets that they engage kids with and trying to remind them the importance of, right now they're talking about being kind. That's the theme of their float. Kindness is my superpower. Kindness is never wasted. Be a kind human.
And they're giving away their secrets here. There's a woman on the back with one of the puppets, and you can see how she moves the hands with the sticks. Now I know how they do it.
All these years you've been trying to figure that out. Here we have the Union County West End Fair Royalty Court.
Yeah, the West End Fair a couple weeks back, and that's always a big celebration out around Laurelton. A lot of fun to go to.
Now we have some really old cars coming through. Some Studebakers. Here we have a 1939 Champion. I really like the open side panels in the engine compartment where you can see right through. Probably not super practicable, but boy does it look cool.
Well, and you know what? That's the luxury edition. It's a 5-window as opposed to a 3-window. So that's the upgrade right there.
Here we have Fermanos driving a very, very classic Ford truck with looks like a bed that's been upgraded a little bit since the original.
It wouldn't be a Milton Harvest Festival parade without Fermano Foods in it. Of course, a big user of tomatoes in this area, supplier. You can buy tins on the shelf, as well as, well, let's call it Chef Boyardee. It's been called that for years.
Quite a few classic cars back to back coming through here. Now that's not quite a rumble seat, is it? That's just a couple kids sitting in the trunk.
Well, they got to be back there to throw out the Tootsie Rolls, but that's about, I'm going to say about a 53, 54 Chevy, followed by a 57 Chevy four-door.
And there's those fins, just love those.
Yeah, they went away not too long after that as far as Chevrolets went. Well, they put some horizontal ones on up till 1960, and then they disappeared. Of course, that was an ode to soldiers returning from World War II and the Korean War, make them look like jets.
Class of 67, Milton, thank you all vets. Another very slick looking, that's a Pontiac Le Mans. Followed by F&S Rat Rods, Lizard Street, Nuki.
You know, that is probably my favorite type of a hot rod, or the rat rods, where you just put together whatever you can. You know, if you look in those things, they've got stop signs as floorboards and whatever they could find to put those together. They were really innovative.
Reminds me of that old Johnny Cash song, One Piece at a Time. And we got a pretty big break here after this pretty sweet old El Camino. So after the El Camino gets on through, we're going to go ahead and take a little break.
Is your home in need of an internet speed upgrade? More people than ever are working from home, making a fast, reliable connection essential. And having enough bandwidth makes it easier to manage your energy consumption, keep your home safe, and enjoy entertainment without lags or buffering. So upgrade your internet speed to 1 gig or 2 gig, or add Plume Whole Home Wi-Fi and experience flawless Wi-Fi on all your devices. Call today or visit secv.com/internet.
And we are back, and it looks like we've got St. Paul's at the Farm, United Church of Christ, coming up here. Brook Park Circle over in Lewisburg. Gonna wait till they get a little closer here. See some dogs in there.
Always a big fan of seeing dogs in parades. Some dogs just kind of get it. Like golden retrievers in particular, like this first one we have here, like they just sort of have that mentality, like everybody's here to see me, right? So being in a parade's really kind of the perfect environment for them. There's one of our young spectators we just got to look at, hanging out here in the general vicinity of Shaw's Funeral Home.
Wait till they figure out we've been pelted with candy here and we haven't picked up hardly any of it. They'll be swarming around us like ants. There's some good stuff down there, too. There's some Charm Pops. There's some more Smarties. Some Dum Dum lollipops. You ate up all those fruity Tootsie Rolls,
I did. I have hoarded or eaten all of the fruity Tootsie Pops. Here we have St. Paul's at the Farm, United Church of Christ. All farm themes outfits here. I think we've got a little bumblebee there. Just kind of a general bee vibe going. And, man, they are loaded for bear with those fruity. Wow, that's a first ever, and I love these. St. Paul's at the Farm just handed me a honey stick. These are one of my go-tos at the Bloomsburg Fair. I always get at least a couple honey sticks. I'm a big fan of honey. And it obviously fits perfectly with their theme. Here we have their second float. We've got a beekeeper with a giant paper beehive. Be kind, be happy, be nice. Kindness seems to be sort of a central theme so far here in the parade.
Yeah, you know, I've always preached the 3 B's of be prepared, be on time, and be dependable.
There you have it. Next we have here Susquehanna Community Bank, and they're hanging out Icy Pops. That's a good one. I think they figured based on the insane weather that we always have here. This is always like the nicest day in September that Fruity Pops are great, or Icy Pops are a great thing to hand out, and they just got a whole handful of Laffy Taffy over here at the table. And a caramel cream, which is my mother-in-law's favorite. I'm going to see if I can throw it across the street to her. I better wait till the Central Susquehanna LPN Career Center goes by. I don't want to peg any of these girls with this caramel cream I'm trying to get across the street. Maybe I'll just hold on to it and give it to her after the parade.
You eat all that candy, you may need one of those ladies to help you. So, yeah, you don't want to hurt them. Oh, you got a really nice old Chevy pick-em-up truck. Boy, is that looks like a farm truck they pulled out of the weeds. Didn't do a lot of refurbishing on it, and it looks perfect that way.
This is still, oh, check this out. We've got right after the truck, we have a Spidey and his amazing friends Power Wheels here. Tell you what, recently I was out in far western Pennsylvania at the Great Stoneboro Fair, and we went to see the Demolition Derby there, and the first act of the Demolition Derby was Demolition Power Wheels. Little kids driving their Power Wheels into each other. Looked like a blast.
Well, you know, a lot of the go-kart tracks around here have a division called juice boxes, which are basically owned by the track, and the kids show up and they drive them. There's a guy we all know from the Milton Winterfest.
Santa, I know him. The Milton Winterfest here. Got the Candyland themed float, very cool. I'll tell you what, I've ridden in a school bus. I've stuck my head out the window of a school bus. Never have I got to ride on the top of a school bus, though. I think I might need to start working for Fishing Creek Transportation so I can ride up on top of a school bus. Now, in the summers, I do go down to Lake Tobias, and I drive the topless safari buses down there as a summer job. So it's sort of like I'm riding on the roof because there isn't one.
Yeah, I was going to say, you go down there and you can ride in a convertible school bus. Didn't know you worked down there. Must be a buffalo feeder or something, huh?
Yeah, I give the tours and drive the topless safari bus. I always tell people I drive a convertible for a living. All right, now we have White Deer Township Fire Company coming through with one of their trucks first. And when I say truck, I'm just talking about it's a Chevy brush truck here. It does have a little tank on the back of it, though. We got some people showing off their scores of candy here. Very cool. Wonder how many pounds of candy are thrown out over the course of today's parade.
Well, you know, it is the Harvest Festival Parade, so they should be throwing, well, let's say cans of corn and tomatoes. And
I see a couple problems with that. Here we see this. There you probably just heard the second fire truck here from White Deer Volunteer Fire Company. A little bit different shade of yellow. Again, most of our fire companies throughout the valley do have a little bit different color and style on their various firefighting pieces of equipment.
That is the end of the second division. Coming up to start the third division will be the Millville Area Junior Senior High School Band.
Currently rocking the marching arrangement of My Sharona.
You know, in another month, they're going to be happy for those uniforms, but I noticed a lot of glistening youth They look pretty heavy.
Luckily, a few of the drummers with the really big drums did get to wear the short sleeves today. Let's take a listen here. Here we have Milton Little League following behind. Now this you really could say is a true punch buggy. I like the orange and white color scheme. Man, I just had a lollipop thrown at me by Milton Little League. Perfect throw, and I dropped it.
Well, it did have a bit of a curve on it.
They are a little tough to catch, those big Charms lollipops, I will say. It's the first one I've dropped today, though. Another interesting new kind of vehicle here. We've got a Ram 1500. This is the Hemi E-Torque. So rather than having the traditional kind of big alternator, they've got a little hybrid motor in there that helps with the horsepower and gets them pretty good fuel efficiency for how powerful of a vehicle they are.
Yeah, we used to call them Dodges. Now they're Rams.
Yep, they separated out. Now the Ram division makes trucks only, and Dodge makes mostly SUVs and still one or two cars. Although I did just see, I think this is the last year for the new Charger. New Charger's been out about 25 years, and they're going to go ahead and discontinue that. I wonder how long it'll stay off the shelf for.
Well, they took the Charger and the Challenger and merged it into one vehicle.
Ah, okay. A little trickeration there, and it's electric. Some of the fastest cars in the world are electric. It's unbelievable the amount of torque that they can push out of those fully electric engines. Even some of the standard Model 3 Teslas with the performance upgrade, they can do 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds.
Yeah, they're absolutely amazing. I mean, you have just instantaneous power with them. Oh, there's my buddies from Northumberland, the Northumberland Fire Police, waving at me.
Some of the different things here advertised on the back of their truck. They've got fire extinguishers. They've got a charging station, probably for big equipment, emergency signs, road closed signs. Those guys are really doing the behind-the-scenes work whenever you have an emergency. Your fire police are usually the first ones there, setting up things, directing traffic, making sure everybody's safe, and helping keep the firefighters safe as well while they do their job, or the police as well.
Next up will be EXP Realty. And it looks like they have a doghouse back here for sale if you need one. Maybe for that golden retriever we saw earlier.
This is going to be Brittany Hunt Strahan, particularly represented here on the back. Next up, we have Freedom Life Church.
Behind them, some of our boys from SECV in the repair truck. You'd never want to see these in front of your house unless you're getting a new line put in, though.
New line or an upgrade. Right here in the front, we have one of my students at St. Joe's. This is Celia Mena.
You know, she has a bucket full of candy and you didn't get any?
I'm going to give her an incredibly hard time Monday. And here's her sister, Sadie Mena. You know, your sister didn't give us any candy. This is a great chance to one-up her. There you go. That a girl, a Butterfinger, and a Kit Kat nonetheless. Two of my favorites.
She doesn't know that I'm a grade consultant, does she?
Looks like we have Adam Transportation coming up here. So this must mostly be school bus and school shuttle drivers here. Make a positive difference in the lives of the local children and support the educational future of our generations.
I think they know you drive a convertible school bus because you just got solicited there.
Yeah, she came and handed me a card. And you see one of the new school buses behind. Interesting fact I learned at working at Lake Tobias. So all of our school buses there are retired school buses, and the reason that they're somewhat easy to get is a school bus can only be a school bus, I think, for 10 years. Doesn't matter the miles. I think it's 10, it might be 12, and then they go off the road. Now, you can still drive them, but they can't be a school bus. That's why you see a lot of them converted into campers. This one right here happens to be propane powered, which a lot of the newer ones are. I was actually just talking to one of the bus drivers who picks up at St. Joe's School in Danville where I teach, and I noticed that, and I said, so where do you go to fill it? And they said, well, the guy who owns all the buses has a giant propane filling station, and we have to fill them up before we leave every day. So propane powered buses. There's also natural gas powered buses out there as well.
Well, you know, if you get up into the northern tier of the state, there are propane stations up there, because when the drillers and the frackers came in, that's the kind of vehicles that they use, so they put a lot of those stations in.
Here we have Pottsgrove Fire Company Tanker 12-1, and boy, that is a big one. This is one of our first fire companies that has the true fire engine red fire vehicles.
They brushed 12-1 behind them, also red. Man, I believe that truck is maybe half the size of Pottsgrove. Pottsgrove, not a very big place.
Lots of equipment loaded into the back of that old F-350 Custom. And we got the classic line on the back, only you can prevent forest fires, which I think they've now switched. I think it's now only you can prevent wildfires, since they aren't just in forests. Next up, we have a kind of an automated concert organ here. This is a DeWitt concert organ, kind of a somewhat similar machine to a Calliope. Let's take a listen.
I don't know about you, but I'm rocking up and down. It's like riding a carousel at Knoebels.
I'm wondering if this is like a hybrid of old and new technology here. Let's call him an attendant in the back of that trailer with the concert organ is holding an iPad that I think is controlling some aspect of what that organ is playing. All right, what do we have here? This looks like the Milton Black Panthers' various career and technical portions of the education system here. They've got agriculture and automotive technology, construction tech, criminal justice. That's a really cool one that you're starting to see a lot of high schools and other schools offer classes in criminal justice. If you think that's a career you want to go into, a lot of places you don't necessarily have to go to college to become have a criminal justice career. Here we have a 1942 farm mall. I'll tell you what, a lot of farmers all throughout Pennsylvania love to keep these old 50, 60, 70-year-old tractors going. You see lots of different brands. We got a couple farm malls in a row here. And we have quite a few more coming in behind that.
I was going to say I've visited a farm of a friend over the summer, and a very large farm with some very large farm equipment, but they had one building pretty much just dedicated to mostly the farm malls that they had collected throughout the years and rebuilt. It was like a museum that nobody knew about out in the middle of Snyder County somewhere, just filled with these tractors. They're beautiful.
You see an older John Deere. Let me tell you, that thing is a beast. The tires on that are about 5.5 feet tall.
Well, and these, I'm sure that they're mostly refurbished to be show, but a big thing, not only in this area, you get down to the south, are tractor pulls, and some of the equipment that they use with that, they rival what you may see on the NHRA drag strip.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that you see these vehicles this old that are still out there and they can still pull all kinds of weight. Here we have, coming up next, a Ford Explorer redone in the style of the original Jurassic Park. Even with this one even has a custom see-through roof like they did in the Jurassic Park movies. That was not, you couldn't buy an Explorer with a glass roof. They were made like that just for the movies. So that is definitely a custom job right here. And now we have a bunch of real and very truly terrifying dinosaurs. My daughter across the street just got a high five from a Spinosaurus, which happens to be my favorite dinosaur of all time.
I can only imagine how hot they are in those costumes, but yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about that. Like, they probably are pretty hot, but then they also are fan-driven. So they have to have decent airflow to keep inflated, I would think. Here we see a Jeep Wrangler decked out in the style of the original Jurassic Park as well.
Yeah, those cool Aussie hats with the one side flipped up so you can aim your rifle.
Yep, another perk of me working at Lake Tobias. I get to rock. I have many different styles of safari hat I get to rock every day. Here we're going to see Service First. Check out their PVC pipe goalposts up on the back of that float. That's pretty cool.
You go out and kick some extra points.
Got the whole football theme going. They even got a little bit of turf on the back of their float there. Of course, that's the old style. That's true AstroTurf on the back of that. Not like the modern stuff that's softer than grass that they run on today.
Yeah, that'll rip your knees up right there.
We were actually just behind one of these the other day. This is a Pontiac Solstice. It's a really neat car. Not very many of them made because they came out pretty much right at the end of Pontiac's run before General Motors shut down Pontiac, but that is a pretty cool looking Deuce Coupe.
Yeah, Saturn also made one like that. They have some pretty neat conversions. One of the Saturn conversions I saw looks like a 53 Chevy Corvette. They're really neat.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, the Saturn one's really cool too. Aim for Christ. Acts in Missions for Christ. Which marks, I believe, that marks the end of Division 3. So this Salvation Army Disaster Services vehicle here that we see, this is actually the very first entry in Division 4 of our Harvest Festival Parade, which, sad to say, is actually the last division.
The Salvation Army, what a great job these folks do. You often hear about them if there's a fire in your community, and they're there to help with the firefighters with food and water and whatever, and then later on with clothing and some supplies to help the families and to get them into a house while they are repairing their old house. So it's great to see them here.
Take a listen to this small band. Is actually the Salvation Army Band. Here's Mifflinburg Bank and Trust. Here's the Lewisburg Area High School Marching Dragons. Let's take a listen. And there you see the Green Dragons color guard immediately following the band. Followed by their box truck pulling their trailer. And then we do have quite a few nice cars coming up right behind there, Steve.
It looks like a, I'm going to say early 2000. Again, I'm not sure of the, they didn't change them much from year to year like they used to, so it's always kind of hard to tell the exact year of them, but a Milton Black Panthers orange and black Mustang.
It's got the Roush engine in it. Let me tell you, those things are powerful. It looks like it's a 2004.
Glad you knew that.
I cheated on that one. I would not. I would have guessed a little sooner. Yeah, I went to high school with a girl that drove a 96 in high school, and I'll tell you what, they were almost the same. They really are difficult to tell apart.
I'm going to say I ordered a brand new 1979 turbocharged Mustang when they went to the Fox Bodies. So I'm a big Mustang fan.
Here we have a Challenger, and it's got the Hellcat painted on the side of it. Is that an actual Hellcat Challenger? Boy, it sounds like it is. Yep, it's got the badge on the back too. Those things, again, that's a whole lot of horsepower in that vehicle right there. I like the red line around the outside of the rims. It's a nice touch.
Yeah, those come in around 1,000 horsepower. Those are just race cars they sell to the general public, really. And Ford does the same thing with their Mustang, and Chevy did with their Camaro. Some of the Fords you got, they had roll bars already in them.
Here we have the Rocket Swim Team. Just keep swimming. Got a little bit of a lull here. That'll give me a chance to thank our sponsors once again. Sunbury Motors, over 100 years of satisfying more customers. Service Electric Cablevision. Replace your router and blanket your whole home with fast, reliable Wi-Fi with the Plume whole home Wi-Fi system from Service Electric Cablevision. Surplus Outlet along Route 11, north of Northumberland. They put the savings back in your pocket. Comfort Specialists, when you're comfortable, life is good. And last but not least, Carpet Man of Milton, one of the largest and most experienced flooring companies in central Pennsylvania. And we do have a pretty big gap before the next entry here, so we're going to go ahead and take one final break before the end of this parade.
The INSP network is your home for Western heroes.
Now you walk in real slow like.
Monday through Thursday starting at 7. It's 4 hours of the toughest marshal in Dodge.
I'm asking you to temper justice with mercy.
During the primetime Gunsmoke Summer Extravaganza.
Everything's gonna be all right.
You're right about that.
Watch your favorite heroes Monday through Thursday starting at 7 on INSP.
We write our own stories.
This is something that our family's done for generations.
In our own words.
It's not the normal world. They can't teach you this in Harvard Business School.
On our own terms.
You guys want to go big? Let's go big.
Find your adventure on Outdoor Channel.
And welcome back. One of my favorite entries every year, the Nittany Highland Pipe Band. Let's take a listen. Here we have a 1922 Ford Model T with a wacky waving arm wiggler on the back of it. Love those guys. Endless fun right there. This is Fired Up Fireplaces, handing out very nice pens. I love how pens have gotten a modern upgrade in this day and age. Most pens have a stylus on the back of them now. Basic install, custom install, repair and maintenance, cleaning, and chimney sweeps. Still a much needed profession. Not a lot of chimney sweeps around either.
Well, with either going to like heat pumps, air conditioning, or natural gas, really not a whole lot of use for them anymore because a lot of chimneys are getting abandoned. But anybody that still uses the traditional oil or coal or wood, certainly you would need that.
Yeah, typically when they convert an old chimney, they drop a liner down on the inside of it, and that makes it very, very low maintenance compared to the older brick or mortar chimneys. Here we have Kent Fire Protection, safe and secure, experts since 1954. Fire extinguishers, suppression systems, fire alarms and security, emergency lighting, and life safety. Last year for Cub Scouts, there were some old expired fire extinguishers that were donated to the Cub Scouts so that the kids could actually feel like what it's like to shoot one. I'll tell you what, it's baffling the amount of fluid or powder or whatever it is based on the extinguisher that they fit inside of one of those little extinguishers. It's compressed in there, so there's a baffling amount inside of there. Here's Heller's Gas.
You could pull that up to the school bus that we talked about earlier with the LP and fill it up. Of course, that is becoming a popular way if you can't get a gas line pulled into your house to have a big propane tank put outside of your home to help heat it. We still need to do that.
Yeah, that's actually what we have. We have a propane fireplace because when we got it installed, they didn't have natural gas in the area yet, and we've kept it because the price to run a gas line is still very expensive because it's a new area for it. Here we have a dog training club. This is the Central Pennsylvania Dog Training Club. I'm really digging the German Shepherd in the Sunflower. Very nice. Oh, and here we have one riding in a little wagon. That's what I want to do.
I was going to say, I saw a Schulte over there riding a surfboard or a skateboard.
Oh, yeah, one in a surfboard. We've got one in a wagon. You can tell these are well-trained dogs because they have Hackenberg apiaries behind them that just blared a really loud horn, and none of those dogs even flinched.
Well, you said you liked honey, so we brought you a whole float here.
Also, the First Baptist Church of Milton, 316 Golf Course Road, Milton, Pennsylvania. Our purpose, to honor God by leading people to become fully devoted followers of Jesus Christ. Interestingly enough, First Baptist Church handing out sunflower seed packets. They must have fertilizer on them because it says, "Do not eat, for planting only." Here's Christ Wesleyan Church, planting, nurturing, and harvesting kindness in our community, with a very fall-themed back of that pickup truck. Another Ram 1500, as it were. Here we have two side by side. We have the Milton Community Center, and we also have Time, the improved Milton experience. Time has been here for, no pun intended, a long time, gradually working on doing everything they can to improve Milton, particularly in the greater downtown area. And they have made some really nice improvements over the last, I want to say, about 15 years they've been around.
Yeah, you know, as you come through the town, I mean, the area we're sitting at, has been ravaged by floods a couple of times. People have come back in and have rebuilt these old Victorian-style homes. The town just wouldn't have the same feeling without these all along here. But, again, we'd be underwater if the river came up because of where we're at. So it's something that Milton has to deal with. They don't have a wall like a lot of communities around here have.
unfortunately, too, when you have neighboring towns that do have flood protection, that kind of just passes the buck because the floodwaters don't surge in the towns that have the flood protection, so they end up surging a little bit worse in the towns that do not have it. So there was Gigi's Whimsical Wonders that just went by. I'm going to go ahead and thank our sponsors one last time as we are nearing the end of the parade. Sunbury Motors, over 100 years of satisfying more customers. Service Electric, Cablevision. Go ahead, binge watch. SECV on demand. Surplus Outlet along Route 11 north of Northumberland. They put the savings back in your pocket. Comfort Specialists. When you're comfortable, life is good. And last but not least, Carpet Man of Milton, one of the largest and most experienced flooring companies in central Pennsylvania. And here we have Texas Roadhouse. Hand-cut steaks, fall off the bone ribs, and fresh baked bread. Also made from scratch sides. You got the armadillo mascot in the back. Very unique mascot. I'm a fan of that. I like the armadillo mascot. And then on the back, they show their hand-baked rolls there, and it says, "This is how we roll."
I think didn't I see you there not long ago? It must have been for your birthday because you sat on that saddle all night long.
Yes, they do have the birthday saddle you can ride here. And I believe this is a first here in the Milton Harvest Festival Parade. We have an Elvis impersonator. Hey, maybe Elvis still lives, or at the least, maybe Andy Kaufman still lives.
I'm not sure that's either one of them, but
Yeah, probably not. I think I was being a little generous, actually. But I'll tell you what, the showmanship is there. And very much like me, he does have that quintessential old Elvis body. Big fan of the powder blue or North Carolina blue racing stripes and embellishments on the Mustang there. One of my favorite colors is that North Carolina blue or powder blue. Tell you what, if he does that at every stop along the way, he's going to be one tired impersonator by the end of this parade.
I was going to say one tired hound dog.
Well played, well played. And he's throwing out the good candy, too. He is into this parade. I respect it. Even doing a little bit of a mini burnout here. Up next, we have diabetes camps for all ages.
It's Setabade diabetes camps.
I'm glad you took a stab at that pronunciation because I really wasn't sure. Award-winning diabetes camps. Matter of fact, that is going to be the very last entry here in the parade. We do have a really nice Corvette, a few cars at the end of the parade there. I wonder if maybe they missed. They wanted to be in the parade and just didn't get here quite in time. So they're kind of like a de facto caboose of the parade here. The true end of the parade, though, as we mentioned, our fire police do a great job keeping everybody safe. They also get to be the official end of this year's Milton Harvest Festival Parade. Thank you for tuning in. And I will remind you just one time, if you'd like to catch this again, you can catch it this evening at 8 p.m. and tomorrow at 9 a.m. and then again tomorrow at 8 p.m. And it will also be available early next week on demand. For my partner, Steve Williams, I'm Matt Gertie, and for my entire crew here today, thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure to tune in for our other awesome fall sports and events.